It's Friday, and we're talking a much-needed win for Max Blair. Plus, we get you ready for a busy dirt racing weekend, including the World of Outlaws, Lucas, AllStars, USAC, and more. Let's go. Today is Friday, May 20th, 2022. Welcome into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series kicked off a 3-race weekend in Pennsylvania at the Bloomsburg Fair Raceway last night, and as expected, it was all Max Blair out front. He started on the outside pole, was quickly by Jeff Ryan at the start, and led all 40 laps en route to the win. Even though he was dominant, he did get a little lucky at the end, as he said in his post-race interview that the right rear tire on the 111V was going flat late in the race, and sitting in victory lane, it was all the way down. It was exactly what Blair needed for the championship chase, but unfortunately for him, points leader Dennis Erb Jr. drove up from 7th to finish 2nd, so only 4 points were gained in that championship chase. Blair really needs to try and do the same thing tonight at Marion Center Raceway. The race last night was a little messy as well if you watch that one live on Dirt Vision. Quite a few torn up race cars, including Greg Satterley, Gordy Gundaker, and actually pole sitter Jeff Ryan was a victim as well. Only 11 cars were running at the finish, and even third finishing Josh Richards had damage, with nearly half the rear spoiler torn off that Boom Briggs owned car. It's been a very tough season for Richards, back full-time with the Outlaws, but back-to-back third-place finishes in the last 2 races should help with the morale over there. Tonight, the series does move over to Marion Center Raceway, which will be another first-time track for the Outlaws. The quarter-mile facility sits north and east of Pittsburgh off Highway 119. This was another track that Blair won at last season, and he'll be the one to watch again tonight. The series then closes out the weekend on Saturday at Port Royal Speedway. That Port Royal program on Saturday is going to be nice. World of Outlaws late models, also 410 sprint cars there, their weekly show. So great Saturday show at Port Royal coming up. With no past results to go off of, the formula again likes Rick Eckert. I don't know why all of a sudden the DirtTracker.com analytics prediction formula likes Rick Eckert. I'm obviously going to go Blair here again. Both remaining Pennsylvania nights can be watched live on Dirt Vision. And speaking of the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, we had a little bit of full-time driver news yesterday. Tyler Bruening is giving up his 4th position in the standings to run a pick-and-choose schedule for the remainder of the season. He cited rising fuel and tire costs and wanting to spend more time with his family as reasons why he's dropping off. In his place, though, Skyline Motorsports teammate Shane Clanton has signed back on with the Outlaws after a few seasons away running Lucas. Clanton hasn't run the full schedule this year, so he's already basically out of the Drivers' Championship race, but he will assume the owner's points position vacated by Bruening. So that team remains in the top 5 on that side of the thing. So you could very potentially see someone, different sides win the Driver Championship and the Owner Championship. Shane Clanton finished 5th last night and could definitely contend for some wins later on this year. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series is headed to Ohio this weekend with stops at Attica on Friday and Sharon on Saturday. They're coming off that 3-race swing through Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Brad Sweet continues to lead David Gravel and Carson Macedo in the standings. This will be the Outlaws' first trip through Ohio this year. And with the All-Stars up north, the locals will definitely be out in force to defend their home turf. Another driver we'll see tonight at Attica is Kyle Larson. He raced on Tuesday night at Bridgeport, ending up 2nd after that really great battle with Sheldon Hodenshield. He'll run the Palt Silva-owned 57 tonight before heading to Texas for the All-Star weekend with NASCAR. Larson has wins in recent seasons at Attica with both the Outlaws and All-Stars, and I think will definitely be a favorite tonight. Another driver to keep an eye on tonight is Donnie Schatz. He's got 2 straight top 4 finishes, and of drivers with more than 1 start at Attica recently, Schatz leads all of them with an average finish of 3.2. I'd also maybe put some money on Spencer Baston over the next 2 nights. He remains incredibly consistent in this first season with the Outlaws. He's got 11 straight top 10 finishes right now, and he won with the All-Stars last year at both Sharon and Attica. The prediction formula likes Schatz tonight, but I'm going to go Larson. You can watch these 2 shows over on Dirt Vision. With the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, it's been more than a month since they last raced. A lot has happened, I feel like, in Dirt Late Model racing since Greg Satterley won at Port Royal way back on April 10th. They're in Iowa this weekend for stops at 300 Raceway and 34 Raceway. Brandon Shepard enters the weekend with a 15-point lead over Devin Moran in the standings. Tyler Erb, Tim McCready, and Jimmy Owens complete the top 5. Lucas has made stops at 300 in each of the last 2 years, with Mike Marlar and Josh Richards picking up those 2 victories. The series hasn't been at 34 since May of 2019. Hudson O'Neal won that night, chopping Jonathan Davenport. I'm curious to see how things kind of start to play out with Lucas into the summer here, especially with so little racing happening as of late. Bishop's been good in starts elsewhere, as has Tyler Erb, but Moran kind of seems to have fallen off his early season pace. And Tim McCready really hasn't done anything of note lately. I know he's had some top 10s and things, but no wins and no really good finishes here. Moran is going to continue racing with the series over the next few weeks. Obviously, his full-time status is in doubt. But of the guys in the top 10 right now, I feel like Erb might be the only one in a position to kind of really bring the fight to Shepherd. The prediction formula likes McCready tonight, but I'm choosing Tyler Erb for the win. His last two starts at 300 were a second and a fifth. And also keep an eye on the weather this weekend with Lucas. There are some rain chances both days. Not super high, but it is around. And if you can't get to the track, you can watch both of these shows live over on MAV TV+. Up north, the All-Star Circuit of Champions are set for 3 nights in Wisconsin. And when you think of Wisconsin, you definitely think of Bill Balog. They're at Wilmot tonight, Plymouth Dirt Track tomorrow, and Angel Park on Sunday. Tyler Courtney continues to lead the point standings, but with 2 wins and a second last week, Justin Peck has jumped up to second and is the hottest driver with the All-Stars right now. If Peck and that Book team are really going to contend this season, they have to improve upon their not great consistency from a year ago. But so far in 2022, they've done just that. Only 2 finishes outside the top 10 in 12 starts, and an average feature finish of 7th is a nice jump. I also still really like Parker Price Miller here if he can stay healthy and feeling good all season. He did complete his final round of cancer treatments this week and is hopefully on the road back to 100%. Sunshine and Corey Eliason have the last 2 wins at Wilmot. Bill Balog, Kyle Larson, and James McFadden own the recent victories at Plymouth, and Balog has the last win at Angel Park. Balog's been pretty quiet so far this season. I think this is year 2 now with the All-Stars, but with all his IRA experience at these kind of North tracks and his wins a year ago when the All-Stars came through here, I would not sleep on the North Pole Nightmare this weekend. For tonight, the prediction formula actually likes Hunter Schoenberg. That's not a bad pick as he's won twice in the last 5 races. I think I'm going to go Sunshine tonight to repeat from his win a year ago. All 3 of these All-Star nights can be watched live over on Flow Racing. At the Terre Haute Action Track this weekend, the USAC National Sprint Cars continue their 2022 campaign with 2 nights of racing at one of the staple Indiana racetracks. Tonight is the Don Smith Classic, and Saturday night is the Tony Holman Classic, which according to USAC is the longest annually held event on the sprint car calendar. Emerson Axum leads a very tight points battle right now with Justin Grant, Brady Bacon, Chase Stockin, Robert Ballou, and Logan Seavey all very much in the fight. Axum leads all drivers in average finish so far, and he's been very strong in this first full season out on tour with that Clausen Marshall team. He and Bacon lead all drivers with 2 wins apiece. Chris Windham has been insanely good at Terre Haute in recent years, but he's not going to be in attendance as he's off running the All-Stars full time, so things I think are going to be wide open this weekend. Seavey, Grant, Stockin, Bacon, and Ballou all have wins in recent years here, so I'm not sure you can really point to any of these guys as having an advantage over the others. The prediction formula continues to like Axum. It's now picked him in 3 straight races. Easy to see why here with that consistency. I think I'm going to go JG, though. He had wins in 2019 and 2020 at Terre Haute, and he's been very good so far this season with top 10s in all 6 starts. Both of these nights will be live over on Flow Racing as well. And the absolutely terrible season for the ASCS National Tour is continuing this weekend with the loss of the 2 nights at Tri-City Speedway in Illinois because of weather. So far, under new owner Terry Maddox, the 360 Sprint Car Series has only completed 4 races, and they haven't run anything since March 26th at I-30. It's been a combination of weather problems, the tire shortage, and all these things that have led to so many events lost. Hopefully this is the last of their bad luck and things will start to turn around in the coming weeks. Next up on the schedule is 2 nights at Lake Ozark Speedway in Missouri on May 27th and May 28th. If you want to hear from Terry Maddox, he's actually a past Dirt Tracker Conversations guest. You can find that in the podcast feed on the YouTube channel or at dirttracker.com/conversations. The weekend streaming schedule is really heavy over the next few days. I count over 100 shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think we can safely say just about every dirt track in the country is open now for the year. Most of the big series are in action like we've talked about, the Outlaws, Lucas, AllStars, USAC, and more. There's also a ton of local and regional stuff around the country. You can watch things on DirtVision, Flow Racing, MAV TV Plus, Race and Dirt. Basically, if you have a subscription to any of these services, you will have plenty of options. If you want to peruse that weekly streaming schedule for yourself, head over to dirttracker.com/watch tonight. That's it for the show today. I'm headed to Texas now for the NASCAR All-Star Weekend myself, so enjoy the dirt racing weekend. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, please leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. We'll be back on Monday for more Dirt Tracker Daily.